Thanks for tuning in today, Uneducated Fam. My name is Pablo.
And I'm Gerald.
And what's up, man? How you been?
Well, I'm shocked right now because you started it different than normal. Thanks for tuning in. Damn.
Yeah, fuck yeah,
We're
dude.
evolving, bro.
We gotta let the people know, you know?
Gotta appreciate them.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Okay, I get it. That was cool. I've always thought, like, I wonder when Pablo's gonna throw a curveball at me. You know, hit me with like a, "How you doing, folks?" Some bullshit at the beginning. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be so stunned I can't say anything.
No, I'm gonna do it every week.
Something different.
Yeah.
I don't think there's that many greetings. Like maybe like eight or
I'll
nine.
do it in Spanish. I'll do it in Portuguese, whatever.
You know Portuguese?
No, I'll fucking learn. But yeah, man.
It's just like slurred Spanish.
It is, yeah. But if you guys didn't hear, we were on another podcast this last week. Hopefully you guys checked it out. If you didn't, you can look up Surface Wave Podcast anywhere you find podcasts. Pretty fun episode to be on. It was cool to be on another podcast. What'd you think of it, Gerald?
It's weird when you use my name. No, yeah, it was cool. It was cool as fuck.
What'd you think of it, cuz?
They made us feel it made me feel kind of like, damn, bro, these guys got some fucking heavy duty equipment. Like, you look at that. We were in the their little studio that they got. Like, there was there like 4 or 5 screens in front of us?
Yeah, it was dope as fuck,
like,
dude.
And then a computer, and then there's a computer to the side, and then they have like 4 different like DSLR cameras pointing at everybody. I was like, damn. It was dope, bro. I just wish that they like could make those lights not be hot as fuck, because they got us sweating in that motherfucker.
I think it was just because I was in there too, you know, because like.
Well, it's because there was like 5 people in there.
Big body mass in there.
It was dope though. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool seeing how like
how something like that's produced.
How it can become, because we do our shit easily like the cheapest out of anybody. We bought cheap ass mics that work good. Like, we looked for the best cheap mic we could. We fucking just plug and play into a computer, and that's it. And for them, it looks like it's like a lot more work. Like, they actually like tune their shit up really well, and we're raw as fuck.
Yeah, and you know, we only have one angle here.
Yeah, we got straight.
Multiple angles, yeah.
We got straight, and then zoomed in on straight, and then sometimes zoomed out on straight.
Here's a good. Yeah, we're super straight here.
Super straight, bro. Fuck.
Like, just up front, yeah.
I've been chilling this week though, bro. I fucking. I'm fucking yawning right now. Fucking early, dude. I fucking stayed up so late because of daylight savings. I was like, oh yeah, extra hour, and then I just kind of wasted that extra hour watching YouTube. I didn't even get the extra sleep like everybody's supposed to get, you know?
Yeah, not me. I watched the fights and then I was fucking out.
Yeah, so it was
My kids were up like. They're usually up at 6. Today they were up at 5.
Damn.
Yeah.
I've been covering this guy's shifts at work all week, right? So they moved my whole schedule around because he had like a death in the family.
Uh-huh.
And I'm the only person that could cover like his certain time. So they kind of moved me into his schedule. So I've been getting used to that for this week. And then I got off at like 2:30 on Saturday. God, it fucking sucked, bro. I got off. I sat in the parking lot for 30 minutes, 35 minutes, because the line of cars was so long that I couldn't leave. Like, even if the cars would make a little break for me to like turn out, I couldn't, because behind those cars was another 6 cars. So there was no way for me to get anywhere except to another parking spot. So I literally waited 30 minutes until they fucking made it all the way through the drive-thru, and I finally got out of that bitch. And one kid that yeah, it was terrible. And one kid who got off at the same time as me, he turned into the drive-thru, and he went through the cars, and he got out, and when we got to the stoplight, I was right behind him. I was like, damn, bro, you went through that whole thing, and I just sat there.
Well, at least you're moving in his case, you know?
Yeah. There's frustration, bro. I just started watching King of the Hill on my phone.
Uh-huh.
I had the same fucking experience the other day, too. I went to Jack in the Box. There was 3 fucking cars in the drive-thru at Jack in the Box, bro. 3 fucking cars. And I watched the whole episode of King of the Hill and some waiting for my food. And I was like the second car.
Jesus.
I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because even, I know everybody's short-staffed, blah, 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 work. People don't want to go back to work. But it cannot take that long to make me a fucking hamburger, bro.
I was about to say
like,
that,
walk
too.
it out to me, you know?
Because, so we were doing this thing where we were going out to eat to Denny's like every Friday just to do a family thing. And I've been getting some shitty fucking service, dude. And I feel bad because I know they're understaffed and shit. But when I'm watching like another waitress just kind of fucking around, like, gagging and shit, I'm like, why did it take a fucking hour for me to get my food?
No, yeah, it was bullshit, bro. I got up to the window too, and I was like, I hope this dude like slides me like 2 extra tacos or some fries or something.
Shit, right?
They don't do shit. No, it's just like, sorry for the wait, and then it's Jack in the Box, right? So it's not like a Chick-fil-A where they're gonna be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, sir. Here's like a free coupon. It's more like, sorry, and then hands you your shit. Yeah, move along, sir. Move along.
Yeah, that sucks.
Shit like that. Other than that, I'm pretty good, man. I've been just chilling, kicking it.
Right on, man. Yeah. Right after we did the podcast last week, I ended up going to the emergency room because my son swallowed a magnet.
Yep.
That shit was crazy. So he's a little quick, man, because my wife she had him by one side of the hands or whatever. They walked by like a dresser, and he just like swooped it up with the other hand and shoved it in his mouth. And I guess my wife's like alarmed him, because when she went to go like try to swipe it out of his mouth, he fucking swallowed it. So they took an X-ray, and we weren't sure how many he ate because it was so quick. We didn't know how many were on the counter, and so they took X-rays. They couldn't tell either, but they're like, oh, if there's 1, he'll be fine, but if there's 2, there could be a problem, and we don't want to have it escalate or whatever. So. Yeah, he ended up getting like a emergency endoscopy, which is like
They stick that thing in your ass.
they stick like a tube down your throat.
Oh, so one that goes down your throat.
Yeah.
And then they just pull it out, right? It's got like
so they
clamps
put him to
and shit.
sleep. Yeah, it's got like a camera and clamps, and yeah, it turned out to just be 1, but his fucking stomach acid took off like this paint coating that was on it that was like chrome. It was fucking weird, but yeah, no, he's fine. Like. He was out that same night. We were probably there like a total of 5 hours, and
that shit's crazy. Do you think your kid wouldn't have like reacted and like swallowed it so bad if your wife like slowly, calmly tried to take it out of his mouth? Or do you think her freaking out kind of he was like, fuck this, and they just swallowed it?
I don't know.
Because little kids swallow shit anyway.
Yeah. I think it's hard to say really, because even after that, like
he tried to eat another one.
No, because we threw all the magnets out because. The doctor told us that the 2 most dangerous things for a baby to swallow is magnets, and then fucking those round batteries that are like
like watch shit. Batteries and shit.
Yeah, because she said that within 30 minutes will burn through their stomach, and they're fucking dead pretty much.
Oh damn.
So she was like, yeah, when you guys get home, just make sure you throw away all the magnets. But I have like these round like fidget toy magnet things.
Okay.
And he grabbed one the other day, and he was quick about it. He's like. Boom, and then my mom was like, hey, no, and he's like, oh, but she like was able to smack it out of his hand in time. But yeah, man, he's just like at that age where he's just trying to put everything.
That was Halloween, right? Because we did that podcast on Halloween.
Yeah, it was exactly on Halloween.
So your other kids still went trick-or-treating?
Yeah, I called my brother up. I was like, hey, I had an emergency. I had to go to the ER. Can you go take my kids trick-or-treating? So he went out. Shout out to him. And took them trick-or-treating and shit.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So they didn't even know what was going on. They just got back home. They're like, "Hey, our parents are home."
They definitely knew what was going on because it was after they got home from school. Well, they didn't even go to school that day actually.
That was Sunday.
Yeah, they knew because my wife was like in a panic, and we're like, "Oh, we have to go to the emergency room." And I called them later on, and I was like, "Hey, your uncle's gonna take you trick or treating or whatever." But yeah, man, that was my fucking week last week, and it was scary to be honest, because like they took my son awake from us because we couldn't be there while they're putting him to sleep.
Right.
And I just hear him crying and shit. And I'm like, fuck, man, that fucking sucks. And then next thing I see him is in a fucking bed, like half passed out, like trying to wake up and shit. So yeah.
But it was like one of those surgeries with like little to no risk, right? They just said like as long as they get it.
Well, so like
you're
supposed to wait like 12 to 24 hours before you eat, which is a big risk going under anesthesia. Because you can vomit and that shit can get into your lungs and you get pneumonia and shit. So that was like the biggest risk because he had eaten at 3 and the operation was like at 8. So that was one of the risks. And but yeah, I mean, it was pretty low risk because overall he's healthy. They didn't have to cut anything.
Plus it was quick as fuck, right?
Yeah. I mean, from the time that they took him from us to when we got him back was probably an hour or 2 at the most. But yeah, man, they had to call all those people in. I feel bad.
Did you guys ambulance transport his ass to the kids' hospital?
No. Which was weird. I don't know if it's because it wasn't an emergency or something.
though they were just like, hey, drive down to the other hospital.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you can just drive him down. Yeah. But my sister-in-law's daughter has like been transported by ambulance twice, so I don't know what the fuck.
Really? What's wrong with that kid?
She had like pneumonia. She's had pneumonia twice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they transferred her to ambulance
I've never
twice.
really was sure what the fuck pneumonia is, because you know how like your parents, they'll be like, it's cold outside, you'll catch pneumonia.
Yeah.
They say that shit, and then in my head I'm just like, so what's pneumonia? Like a worse version of like a cold?
Fuck.
Because I know
Do you
it's
know
like,
what it is now?
I have a basic idea of what it is, but I don't know how you get it, because they would always tell you that, right? Fucking, hey, you're playing in the snow, or like don't be like all wet and stay outside like in the rain and shit. They'd be like, you'll catch pneumonia, and it's like, how the fuck do I catch pneumonia from being
like
really
getting
wet?
water in your lungs, basically, and then like I think it turns into like a bacteria or something.
So is that just some scare tactic shit when they were like, don't play in the rain or you're getting pneumonia?
No, because
can you get it?
I think a cold can cause pneumonia because you get like congested and shit.
Oh yeah.
It's like basically getting something into your lungs. So like if you have more mucus and shit and it gets into your lungs.
All right, well, we got the fucking uneducated duo podcast trying to teach about pneumonia.
Yeah, I don't fucking know, dude.
We're not sure, but we know what's out there.
I just know pneumonia is bad, yeah.
And it's a risk. All right, well, we start all our episodes with a one gotta go. And this week's one gotta go, we're doing Adam Sandler movies. And we picked 4 of his older movies that are like his like classic Adam Sandler movies, because fuck, dude's got a repertoire of like 50 motherfucking movies. It's hard to choose because I don't know, I've seen like most and I like a lot of them. I don't like a bunch of them. So we just went with 4 that are like so well known that if you don't know these, you fucking live under a rock and you're a piece of shit. No offense.
I don't think you're a piece of shit, but yeah, I mean, you should know these for sure.
All right, the 4 we're going with are Big Daddy, Mr. Deeds, The Waterboy, and Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, man. Fuck.
This is when he's like young. Like I think this is like right when he's like actually becoming a big ass star, right?
Yeah. All these are when he was way younger, because now he's doing some weird Netflix shit. But yeah, man. I'll go first on this one.
All right, go for it.
So my number 1 has got to be Big Daddy.
Okay.
It's the first Adam Sandler movie that I ever remember watching. And
is it?
Yeah, that I remember watching.
I can't honestly even remember which one I watched first.
Yeah, I'm 100% positive that that's number 1, because I'm pretty sure we had a VHS of it. But yeah, it's number 1 because it was my introduction to Adam Sandler, man. So I have to give it up to this movie. It's really funny. Basically, if you haven't watched it, spoiler alert, he's like this bum guy that had like some sort of lawsuit, so he got into a bunch of money. So he's just basically bumming his days away, working like half-ass jobs and shit. And
he's like a rich kid bum because his parents have money.
Yeah, his dad's a lawyer and shit. But he has a roommate basically, and then some kid shows up on his doorstep one day. His roommate went on a business trip, and they're like, "Oh, this is your roommate's kid or whatever."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, he's not here." He's like, all right, well, I'll have to take him back, I guess. He's like, no, I'll just keep him or whatever, you know?
It's basically just their wacky adventures as he, like, gets to know this kid and like, falls in love with him, wants to be his dad. And he also, like,
fakes to be the friend or whatever, the roommate. But, yeah, they get into all this shit. Like, the kid doesn't want to listen. He's just acting really bad. And then he's like, oh, man, I'm a shitty father. I got to fucking step this shit up.
Yeah, there's a moment where he does step it up.
Shit. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's just like super funny. He teaches the kid that if you got to go piss and they don't let you piss in the restaurant, you piss on their wall.
You know that's fucking Zach and Cody from The Sweet Life?
I did. I didn't know until later on, man.
Oh, you didn't?
They both were in that movie.
They're both in it. Yeah, because twins in the industry can like work longer because you can switch them.
Yeah. So that was crazy when I found out later on. And I actually found that out as an adult after I watched The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
Oh, okay. I figured it out back then because, well, not back then, probably like around the same time like Sweet Life of Zach and Cody stuff.
Yeah.
Because I knew that they were also in Friends. Like they were Ross's son in Friends.
Oh, okay.
And they would alternate there.
Oh, really? Weird, man. Yeah.
Or maybe it was one of them, but how the fuck can I tell they're twins?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. And in that movie, it's weird. You have no idea they switched because obviously they're identical twins or whatever.
All right, so you're thinking Big Daddy number 1?
Big Daddy number 1, yeah, based on the fact that it introduced me to Adam Sandler.
I'm not mad at that pick. For me, number 1 on this list is Mr. Deeds, bro. Mr. Deeds is so fucking good. I think Adam Sandler's in his pocket, like in this era when he's making these movies. There's like maybe 6 or 7 or like 8 where like motherfucker had no misses. It was like hit, yeah. And then slight downhills and then hits and then downhills and hits. But for the most part, that era, he's fucking like throwing out bangers, right? And Mr. Deeds, something about it, man, it's so outrageously stupid. Motherfucker just all of a sudden you're a billionaire, and it's not like a normal ass. Oh, you made $1 billion. They're like, you're worth 40 fucking billion.
And he's so small town that he's like, cool.
Yeah. I like how he's so humble about it. Like they make his ass seem like I don't give a shit about money.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't care about money at all. Even when he has the money, he's fucking giving waiters big ass tips. He's like Mr. Beast before Mr. Beast. You know, he gets it, and he's like doing all this shit, but without the clout. He tipped fucking people $10,000 just because he fucking hangs out with like rich ass people just to do bullshit. You know,
pays like 10 G's for a bike.
Yeah, that makes him cool as fuck. I think it's dope because if I ever pictured myself with $40 billion, I would probably be like that. Like, I'd have my shit for sure. I'd have my shit secure, my family and shit. But I'd also be like, oh, I'm going downtown. I see some kid riding a longboard. I'm like, yo, bro, let me get that. And then he'd be like, no. And I'd be like, all right, here's 5 G's, bro. Fucking hand him 5 G's and just take the board and ride, you know? Like, it's a way of kind of giving back without, obviously it's not like, oh, I have a fucking charity. But it's like, if I see someone and I think I can do something, then I will. Plus, I've got the fucking money, and, you know, it feels more free than the way people do it right now. Like, he just kind of distributes his money to whoever the fuck he wants, as much as he wants, whenever he wants, with, like, no care in the world.
Yeah, because, I mean, personally, if I came into that much money, I'd be, like, shitting my pants, like, living, like, a playboy life, you know?
He's also got the meta, man. It's stupid, but my favorite thing from the movie is that he's got the Hawaiian Punch drinking fountain.
Yeah.
In, like, his house. I would have one of those for sure, but, like, it's evolved now, right? I wouldn't have a drinking fountain, obviously. I'd have, like, the machine that you get at, like, Burger King or Jack in the Box that, like, has all the thousands of sodas in it.
Yeah.
I'd have that and then just have my waiters, like, refill it at all times.
Yeah, kind of a funny side note. I don't know if you know that David Dobrik has a Hawaiian Punch fountain in his house.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's fucking dope. And I'm pretty sure it's from this movie.
Oh, where he got the idea?
Yeah, because that's fucking crazy.
It's got to be. David Dobrik is one of those dudes that came to America and, like, learned American culture and English from, like, TV.
Fucking
that's why he's like obsessed with, like, Drake and Josh, you know.
Yeah,
and that's just how it is for, like, immigrant people. You come here and you learn. I don't know if he learned the language that way, but you learn, like, how America lives through TV, and then you end up with that being, like, the kind of shit you want to do or want to have and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm taking Mr. Deeds number 1. I think it's dope. Plus, he looks out for everybody, man. He buys them all dope ass, like,
Mustangs.
No, he buys like Porsches or something. It's like,
was it Porsches?
It's a Lamborghinis or Porsches. Like, it's a high end fucking car for the whole town.
That shit was funny, and then he crashes it.
Yeah, then he crashes.
Schneider.
So yeah, I'm taking Mr. Deeds number 1.
Right on, man. So for my number 2, I'm gonna go with the Water Boy.
All right.
The Water Boy is just so iconic. I feel like there's a lot going on in the movie, but it's not so much where, like, it's hard to follow, obviously, because it's a simple movie.
It's simple as fuck.
It's like basically this kid who's been a water boy for a football team since he was a little kid, and he has some sort of mental delay, so he ends up being the water boy all through, like, adulthood too.
Feels like a dumber version of, like, Forrest Gump to me.
Yeah,
I fucking watch it.
But I really fucked with this movie. I think mainly because it was like a football movie, but like a comedy football movie. Because there was, Adam Sandler's comedy is like so. The way for me to explain it is like it's so over exaggerated that it's like good and believable. I don't know. It's weird. Maybe that's just myself, in my opinion, or whatever. But there's a lot of good parts in this movie where, like, he loves his mama and his mama's always right. There's a part where, like, they're asking about the medulla oblongata, and he's like, "Oh, alligators have all those teeth because
his mama said so."
Yeah, because his mama said so, or whatever. I don't know.
He does have a reason, but then they're like, "How do you know that?" And he's like, "My mama said, or my mama told me." Basically, anything his mom says is like, she's like God to him.
No. So it's wrong because the professor was like, "Oh, the medulla oblongata is what controls their anger or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, my mama said alligators are so ornery because they got all them teeth and no toothbrush. So just a bunch of bullshit like that. It was so funny. I think it's funny as hell too that he rides a tractor to school and shit, and then he gets like this punk rock girlfriend, and she tunes that shit up to go faster.
You know why people hate Adam Sandler nowadays is because he tends to play the same characters he's always played. But I think he's had some fucking good dramatic roles. Like, people aren't giving him credit for like Spanglish or like Uncut Gems, where he's like playing like a different type of character where he's really serious or he's really emotional.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because his comedy's all the same.
I mean, to a point I see it, but it's hard for me to like put all the movies together. Because when I watch them, I see separate characters. I don't see the same character. Because like in The Waterboy, he was like super dumb, right? But in Mr. Deeds, he wasn't dumb. He was just like a kind person, you know?
But you can
made him like oblivious.
But you can always see that he does the yells in his comedy. He'll get really mad and yell something really loud, and then every movie, I think the first like 6 movies all have the fight scene. They all have Rob Schneider going, "You can do it." You know, like it's a really not scripted, but a really compact formula he uses, and a lot of people hate it.
I think it's just a style, yeah.
They're haters,
and I
though.
fuck with that style.
I think they're haters because if it's funny the first time and it works in the rest of the movies, like, who cares? You know, that's how music fucking works. That's why people listen to certain artists, because they have their style and that's what they fucking do.
Yeah. I just think it's Adam Sandler's style, so I can see how it could annoy people. But for me, I appreciate it. I like it. I don't really blend the characters that he plays, but I can see how they have similarities. But Waterboy's gonna go off for me, number 2, because it's a football movie. It's funny as fuck, and all that Louisiana Bayou shit was cool to me too, like them eating alligator and fucking snake and shit. And yeah, just overall a funny movie.
All right, so Waterboy number 2.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go with my number 2. I'm gonna go with Big Daddy number 2. It's an easy as fuck pick for me. Multiple reasons. Obviously, the movie's really good and it's like emotional and funny as fuck. It was also like me and my sister's favorite movie for a long time. Like, me and my sister would watch it all the time. I think we owned it, or we owned the DVD. I don't fucking remember, but for sure it used to come on like USA Network all the fucking time. You know how they always have like that movie that plays for like 3 hours because of all the damn commercials?
Yeah.
I feel like it was always Big Daddy by Adam Sandler or Mr. Deeds. So those two I've seen like 100 more times than probably any other Adam Sandler movies I've ever seen in my life. So they're really ingrained. And Big Daddy's just so fucking dope. Like, just the whole story is cool. Plus, it's got moments that I can quote. And that's how I know I like a movie. Like, if I can immediately think of a funny-ass thing from a movie, like, multiple times, then I know that movie really hit for me. Like, when they're reading out the words and he's like, hip-hop anonymous? And they're like, no. And he's like, you gave him all the easy ones. And he's all fucking pissed off because he couldn't read hippopotamus. Like, that shit is funny as fuck, bro. And it's like, yeah. I know he uses the same people, but that's just because he's dope. Like, if I was a movie star like him, I would bring my homies with me, and my homies would be in all my movies. Because I'm not trying to set up random-ass people. I'm trying to have my people in my shit.
I think you're right, though. That's what makes a movie, you know, memorable scenes. Because just as you were saying that, I was thinking about the scene with him as well, where he's like, "Hey, I know you. I deliver 2 pieces of cheesecake to your house every day."
Yeah. Like,
yeah, just shit like that.
It's those little nuances, you know.
Yeah,
Plus, that's his like mark. I know there's movies where he kind of loses it, like Jack and Jill's fucking garbage as fuck.
Yeah.
But he's dope, and it works. Plus, people don't give him fucking credit for like the emotional shit he does, like the other roles he's done where he actually plays like deep characters. So I'm taking Big Daddy number 2. I fucking love that movie. It's so good. It's honestly like one of those movies I'd probably put like in my legendary comedic movies. Like, I've seen it so much and I love it so much that I could probably watch that on repeat like 50 times and not even give a shit. It's kind of like Friends or The Office for me, where like I could play that in the background and then just tune in when I know I'm going to laugh, and I'll still laugh.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I fuck with that. So for me, I got Mr. Deeds left and Happy Gilmore.
Right.
And this is a very, very easy option for me. I'm going to be honest.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't say like super easy. It's just that I've seen one more than the other, and that's my main thing. So I'm gonna go with Mr. Deeds. I'm getting rid of Happy Gilmore
Oh yeah.
because Mr. Deeds I've probably seen 20 times more than Happy Gilmore. I think I've seen Happy Gilmore less than.
Yeah, man. But
5
now you're a
times.
golfer.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I haven't watched that movie.
You're living the life now, bro. You got to be a part of the movement.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it'll teach me much, but I guess it would be fun to watch again. But Mr. Deeds is just so legendary, man. Like, there's just so much. I don't know if I want to say depth, but there's just so much to that movie where, like, he gets the money. This girl's trying to do a report on him. She ends up falling in love with him. Turns out he's a really good guy.
It's a rom-com, right? Is that considered? It's considered a rom-com.
I would consider it that, yeah, because I mean, it starts off as her just kind of like, this guy's a jackass. We're just gonna try to get a story off of him, and then she like falls in love with him, goes to the fucking.
I feel
town.
like for a long time, like rom-coms were like designated as like chick flicks. Like people would be like, "Oh, if it's like a rom-com, it's kind of for girls."
Yeah.
But rom-coms are like the funniest fucking movies, bro.
I think this one like really borders that though.
Cause like they're so good. Like you can think of like, I don't know if you've seen these movies, but like Failure to Launch with Matthew McConaughey is like a rom-com.
I've never seen that.
There's a bunch of rom-coms with Reese Witherspoon that are fucking hilarious.
I'd probably say that 50 First Dates is a
50
rom-com.
First, yeah, like rom-coms are fucking funny because the relationship is hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, I would definitely say Mr. Deeds is more of a com-rom.
Com-rom, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because it's a
More
comedy
comedy
more
than
than it's a romance movie. But it definitely has the romance part to it. I also thought it was funny as fuck when she goes to that small little town and they find her fucking fake house. And then she goes into like a bar there or a restaurant. She's like, "Don't you guys remember me?" They're like, "No, we don't remember your ass."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she says she's like Dr. Pepper's son or some shit, or
Yeah.
daughter.
Who's that? But yeah, just overall, I think Mr. Deeds is a great movie. And the comedy just hits you right away. You know, when his uncle dies and he fucking has a funeral and he opens that shit up and he just pops up all frozen and shit. Like, just so much greatness. Happy Gilmore, unfortunately, I've seen it only a handful of times, so it's hard for me to
Remember everything?
remember really a lot of it. But I just remember his swing for sure because it was crazy. And then how he's always trying to fight and shit on the course.
All right, so you get rid of Happy Gilmore?
Yeah, so I'm getting rid of Happy Gilmore. I'm keeping Mr. Deeds, and yeah.
Okay, I got Happy Gilmore and the Waterboy left, right? And for me, it's easy as fuck too. And I'm getting rid of Waterboy.
Shit.
I don't know. It's too weird South country for me. Like I like the movie, but it's not one that I will seek out. Like if the Waterboy's on TV, I'll watch it, and if it like pops up on Netflix every 6 months or some shit, I'll watch it once. But that's it. Like I'm never gonna search it out that much. But Happy Gilmore has some of my favorite fucking Adam Sandler scenes ever because the motherfucker throws hands with Bob Barker. Like, Bob Barker, he's the Price is Right, right?
Yeah.
I think he's the Price is Right guy. Fucking throws hands with Bob Barker, dude. It's such a dope scene, and they like fucking actually fight it out. And then he kills an alligator in that shit because like the alligator took his golf teacher's hand, Chubb's hand, one time, and he's like, "Oh, you took Chubb's hand," and like fucking wrestles an alligator. I just think Happy Gilmore out of all of these, like Big Daddy's a little more toned down. It's got more real themes. Mr. Deeds is kind of crazy, but it's also more toned down. Waterboy and Happy Gilmore on this list, I would say, are the ones that are way more outrageous. Like the character's just so crazy. Because in Happy Gilmore, he's got like anger problems and he's like a fucking crazy hockey player. And in Waterboy, he's like
severely delayed.
Yeah, like super delayed football player. But I'm just taking Happy Gilmore because I enjoy the movie more. And I have been playing golf more lately, so it makes I get slightly more interested in shit like that. Because I don't know if anybody's ever seen this. When I was a kid, and we talked about it like first 30 episodes, I think. There's a movie called The Greatest Game Ever Played.
Yeah.
Where Shia LaBeouf plays golf, and like they show how golf became big in like his little area in the U.S. and the first like American to beat a British dude and whatever. But that movie was so good that when I watched it, I wanted to play golf. And Happy Gilmore is so funny that when I first watched it, I was all like, I kind of want to try golf. So when something can inspire me to do something, or at least want to do something, then I feel like it's probably doing its job and I enjoy it a lot. Because, like, Waterboy's funny as fuck, but I still don't really want to play football. Happy Gilmore is, like, funny as fuck, and I kind of want to try golf. Like, maybe I'm going to beat the shit out of, like, Steve Harvey one day out on the course. I want to be like, I saw that Family Feud episode, bro, and then punch him in the face. Even though I think Steve Harvey's probably, like, 6'2" and way bigger than me.
Yeah, he'd probably fuck you up.
Yeah, he'd probably beat my ass. He's got like bald man powers. You know, he's gonna headbutt me and fucking bash my face open. So I'm taking Happy Gilmore. I would love to have that hockey stick from the movie, like the hockey stick putter that he has. I think that'd be fucking dope. That's just a flex. Like if I go golf with my friends and I pull out a hockey stick that's converted into a putter,
we're getting kicked off the course, man.
Because for some reason, I think the golf people would appreciate it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, man, because they've probably seen the movie. But for some reason, like, all my friends are all, like, addicted to putters. Like, we go golf, and they're like, I don't know, this putter's better than that putter, or this putter's this, that putter, this. We have, like, 7 fucking putters. And I just use the basic-ass mini golf one. So, like, if I came through with the hockey stick, bro, I'd be like, fuck yeah, you see this shit right here?
I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
That's fucking dope. No, well, it's like a special made. Like, it's a real putter. It's just, like, hockey stick shaped.
Yeah.
That'd be sick as fuck. So I'm taking that one. I'm taking Happy Gilmore over Waterboy.
All right, man. So my list was I went Big Daddy, Waterboy, Mr. Deeds. Happy Gilmore's out of there.
And I went Mr. Deeds, Big Daddy, Happy Gilmore, got rid of Waterboy.
Yeah, which all these are great movies. I'm sure if I rewatched Happy Gilmore, I'd be like McFarlanding it up.
They're all funny, dude. They're all funny, yeah.
But yeah, that was our one gotta go today.
Dude couldn't miss for a long time. Then he started missing, but then at the same time, you can't expect an actor to do nothing but hits all the fucking time. People are in bad movies all the fucking time.
Yeah. It's hard to catch.
Hard to catch bad movies?
It's hard to catch good ones nowadays, like that actually, like, I'm like, oh, excited to watch it now. That's why I go back to a lot of older movies.
I think it's because of commercials. You know what happened with, like, people not being excited about a movie anymore is that, like, nobody watches traditional TV that much. Like, we're all watching Netflix, Hulu, fucking Amazon Prime, just whatever you're watching. And there's no commercials. So you don't get that, like, small trailer of a movie that you've never heard of that had one fucking commercial run ever. And you're like, oh, you know what? That looks dope. Now you have to, like, seek out the trailers on YouTube or on your Twitter or Facebook feed. And only the big-ass ones come through. Like, you're only going to see the trailer for, like, Spider-Man and the Flash. You're not going to see the trailer for some, like, really small comedic movie about a family that you've never heard of. That's some fucking movie you're going to watch 2 years later on Netflix's list.
That's so true, because the only way I see, like, premieres or previews of movies or shows is because of social media.
Yeah. You don't see it on TV anymore. And I miss that, because I used to watch TV all the time, and a commercial would pop up for some random movie, right? And I'd be like, you know what? That looks pretty good. Like, I get interested, and then I'd, like, watch the movie or wait for it to be on Redbox or Blockbuster back in the day. So, you know, I'd go watch that shit.
Yeah.
But they don't do that anymore. So we're going to move on to Astroworld. Motherfucking Astroworld. Astroworld is a festival that Travis Scott puts on. If you don't know who Travis Scott is, a fucking dope-ass rapper who kind of steals a lot of people's beats and shit. No offense. But good songs, and nowadays all these rappers, they become famous and they throw their own, like, concert festival things because they know they can make money. Like, he does Astroworld. Tyler the Creator has Camp Flognog or whatever. But he had his big event. He does it in Houston, Texas. And apparently the crowd got so big. Like, he had 50,000 in attendance, and, like, a bunch of people, like, I saw videos of a bunch of people breaking down the fence and storming the audience. So, like, how the fuck are you going to decide who's the guy that's not really there, right?
Yeah.
Who doesn't have the ticket? What the fuck, you going to play a game of Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo? So all these people were there, and apparently it got so motherfucking rowdy that people were getting, like, stomped to death. People were having, like, cardiac arrests, heat strokes, just all kinds of shit. But the show must go on, and it went on the whole time. Like, he didn't stop the show, and people were dying, and there was ambulances everywhere. I think he finished his set.
Yeah, man. You could see, like, people getting, like, wheeled out, and he's still, like, up there rapping and shit. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of videos that came out. One specifically that was kind of fucking creepy was so he's, like, standing on this, like, what I would call this little pedestal that's, like, above the fans, like 20 feet. And he's up there, and he's, like, singing this, like, slow song that starts off really slow. I'm not even sure what the fuck he was saying.
Uh-huh.
But then they pan to him, and then they pan down right in front of him in the audience, and they've got like this dude who's like passed out, like being carried off by EMTs. And I remember seeing the video, and they had a caption. It was all like, "What the fuck is this? A funeral?" Because it felt like he was like giving a inspiring rendition of some song, like at someone's funeral, because the guy was getting carried off as if he died. You know, like some shit you'd see in a movie.
Yeah.
I was like, "What the fuck is going on, dude?" I saw that one clip, and I was like, "Damn, Astroworld must have been crazy." So I started looking up all that shit.
Yeah, it looked fucked up, bro. I saw some videos of like somebody actually dead. Like he just looked lifeless there. It was fucking crazy.
Just laying on the ground.
Yeah. And people were like, "Oh, what the fuck?" Like, stop, you know? And then I saw these videos too of like these people trying to stop the concert. Like they walked up to some producer or some like cameraman or something. And they're like, "Hey, people are dead down there. You need to stop this." And they weren't even listening. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah,
but people were going crazy, man. Did you see the video of people like running like over barriers trying to get to like the merchandise and shit?
No.
Like that shit was crazy.
Like to steal it?
No, just to go buy it. Like,
to go
they
buy
were
it.
fucking storming it too.
No, I saw the so I saw that same thing as you, where they pull up to the security guard, not security guard, to the cameraman, right? Like it's like a guy and a girl, and they're like yelling all hysterically. They're like, "There's people being hurt over there, people dying over there. Call the ambulance," right? And then the camera dude like takes off his headphone, and he's like can't even hear what they're saying, honestly, when he's got the headphones on probably.
Yeah.
Takes them off, and he's all like, "Get off the stage." He like tells him to leave because he thinks they're just up there. And then he puts it back on and starts filming again. And I was all like, damn, dude didn't even like hear them out. But then I think in like in his perspective, he's like, crazy ass fans just climbed up here, get the fuck off my thing. But if he did hear them, then he's a fucking asshole.
I mean, I think when you're kind of in the zone performing, you don't really realize, you know? Because, I mean, I don't know what the fuck. It's just a crazy situation to me because I try to put myself in his shoes. And
the cameraman's?
No. I'm talking about Travis Scott's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Travis Scott's point of view, you know, whether he's listening or not. Or even that cameraman, you know, you like, people are fucking crazy. You don't really fucking know what they're doing. Especially if you hear that earlier in the day they were like storming this place and shit.
Well, you didn't see the one of the cop car? Like the cop car is going in there to like try to stop. It might have been like a golf cart, security car. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's like driving into the fans trying to get to like where the distress is at. And then the fans climb it, and there's a dude fucking like dancing and like crumping on the top of the fucking cart as the music's going. Like you can hear Travis Scott's music in the background, and the dude's fucking jamming on the top of this golf cart of this security golf cart thing, which just shows that the fans like.
They're just crazy.
Although the people like in the immediate area where that shit's happening probably realize it, like the people in the front, the people to the side, the people to the other side, and the people in the back didn't know what the fuck was going on. They were still jamming, and then it took forever for them to realize, oh shit, people be getting trampled out here.
Yeah, one of the kids or one of the people that passed away was a 10-year-old boy, man. That's
no, 14.
Crazy. 14? I saw a 10-year-old thing be posted. So, I mean, 10, 14, whatever the case is, it's fucking crazy.
14 and 16. I don't think a 10-year-old would be allowed to go. Maybe if he's with his parents.
Yeah, I have seen. That's what I was saying. Like,
because I have seen kids at concerts, but I feel like their parents. Every time I've ever seen a little kid at a concert, like they're pretty surrounded by family. Because you little kid be getting fucking knocked out inside of like a general admission section.
Yeah, because I think most the people that died were like trampled or something, bro. It's fucking crazy.
They got stomped out because it's just people dancing, or like even if like the audience compresses too much, right? Like there's just so much force that you like get forced underneath people, and they don't even mean to step on you, but like you're fucking underneath them, and they're just like stepping on you.
Yeah, man, that shit is fucking crazy.
Be dying and shit.
8 people
died. Yeah, that's so many fucking people. I saw a bunch of posts about it. One guy was like, more people died at Travis Scott's concert than on January 6th when they did like the Capitol invasion.
Yeah.
And I was all like, damn.
That's fucking a crazy thought. Even like the shooting here, like 2 people and that's 8. That's fucking crazy at a concert.
Did you see his like official post? He was like on Instagram. He basically said, I'm absolutely devastated by what took place that night. And then him and Kylie Jenner both claim that they didn't realize anything was wrong in the audience until after the set, like after they were done. Which maybe is true, but like once you see a bunch of cop cars and shit, like, don't you think you'd notice? Or do you think that happened after he was done?
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, you just don't fucking know, because maybe that's common at a concert. Like,
no, that's not common.
at his concerts because people
No.
get crazy. Have you been to one of his concerts?
No, it's not common. Common maybe getting crazy, but people getting killed, like stomped out, like even
Motherfucker, I'm saying seeing the cops because you're saying that he saw the cops. Maybe there was a brawl. You don't fucking know, you know, like. And I'm not excusing
seeing the cops. I don't
it.
think seeing the cops is common either, honestly.
I mean, I've never been to a concert. I'm just saying from like.
I've been to a lot of concerts.
Of not being there, just kind of.
I've been to a lot, and I don't think it's common. But for a concert, it is different because a regular concert is performed in like a concert house. So if like a police officer came in, like it'd be a big deal. But his was more of a festival, so it's way broader, way bigger.
Yeah.
So like
I mean,
the police could have been in the corner of it, and he couldn't have probably not even noticed.
And I hear most of his concerts get crazy anyways because anything Travis Scott, like people were trying to cop the fucking McDonald's worker shirts.
You think he'd realize like the death thing? Not necessarily people dying, but like the conflict happening, because when you watch it, there's a big ass part where like the audience starts chanting like "Stop the show." What's he think that they're just booing him?
I really don't fucking know, man. I've never been in his place. I don't know. I've never even been to a concert. So,
have you seen the other examples they put out? Because they put out so Post Malone had like a concert where he saw someone getting hurt and he stopped the show, let that person get out. Linkin Park did it too. Like they like saw people and they were like, stop the show. They completely just turned everything off and it kind of hushes the audience right away because there's no more music. And then they got the people that were being hurt out. Same thing with Nirvana. They did it too. A lot of those examples are coming up because people are like, why couldn't Travis Scott do this, right? But they're also like, there's no perspective there. I feel like they're not showing if that concert had 10,000, 20,000, 5,000, 6,000 people, because the Travis Scott one for sure was a festival. So it's like so big that you got like 50,000 people surrounding it, / the fucking carnival ride, / all the fair shit. Like a lot of people might not even have been like right at the show, right when it was happening.
So in your opinion, whose fault is this?
Whose fault is what?
Like this tragedy.
I don't think it's anyone's fault.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think there's any fault. I think it's
you think it was all right that they let people like storm in? You think it's all right that like he didn't stop?
No, but those are like isolated situations. So like,
I think it's all isolated, yes, but it's all played a role in this fucking.
Yeah, but tragedy. I don't think you can add blame. So like for Travis Scott, you can't blame him because from his perspective, you probably can't even really tell what's happening unless you have like.
So do you agree or not with the?
Unless you're looking for it.
What we were talking about, how like he should have been able to see, like he should have known people. I
don't think you could see people dying, passing out, and stuff. But I think if the whole audience like really like made it known, because I saw the chants, but that could have just been from that one camera phone in that one section. Because I've been to concerts where like one side can be yelling and the other side's yelling, and you can't hear shit from the other side.
Well, on top of it, they have an earpiece so they can just hear music, right?
It's to hear their own voice.
Oh, whatever. I mean, they have an earpiece to only hear certain sounds, right?
They can hear the crowd. It's just to hear their voice and like how they're playing. But I think if the crowd actually made it known enough that he should have taken notice, it's hard for you to say, hey, take notice of people dying or passing out, because like it looks like a fucking swarm of bees out there. How the fuck are you supposed to pick out the right ones? Also, like I wouldn't blame him. I don't think you can blame him for what happened. Because it's not like he didn't hire the security and set up everything right. Plus, you also don't really know if the added, like, who knows how many people came in. It looks like a lot in a fucking little camera phone video, but maybe it was 50 people that ran in or 100 people that ran in. That's not going to fucking make your audience just, like, super extra. He was expecting, like, 50,000 people, right? That's like, what he sold. There was, like, a ticket quota. I'm sure that's why people had to sneak in. I'm sure this
thing was sold out.
Yeah, that's why people had to sneak in, right? So, like, He knew the numbers, he hired for it all, and then it just so happens that like the crowd got too rowdy, too crazy.
So in your opinion, nobody's at fault?
No, I don't think anyone's at fault. Like I don't think anyone's at fault.
8 people died, but nobody's at fault.
No, I mean, who are you gonna blame? You can't blame him.
I would think whoever is like the promoter of that show. I mean,
but
somebody has to be liable.
What's the what do you do to stop that from happening? Like. It's a big ass concert and that happens. Like once people are getting trampled. There's gonna be
something, bro. Like,
but like what?
They didn't have enough security. It's gonna be something, you know. Like the barriers weren't set up right. It's gonna be something.
But there's no barriers in the audience.
8 people died.
Yeah, but I don't think you can blame them. Like no one's gonna be charged for anything.
Well, there's already a lawsuit
Well, yeah, they're gonna be sued. They're gonna be sued by all the families of the people who died because, like.
But that's what a lawsuit is like giving fault to somebody. You know, it's not. I don't think it's for any other reason besides, well, the money too, obviously, but people died. You know.
Well, there's a lot of difference, I think, between legal being in fault and like how I feel if somebody's in fault, right? So like legally, someone can like be charged for something.
Yeah, and that's what I'm asking. I'm not necessarily asking like.
And then I can like sympathize and be like,
I
don't think that was wrong.
Since I said, you know, in your opinion, who do you think is at fault?
Yeah, because if they sue him and they're like, yeah, it's your fault they died because it's your show. Like obviously he's gonna take the fault because it's his event, but is it his fault? I don't think so. Is he responsible for like making sure these people's families are like?
So if somebody in your family died there, like who are you blaming?
Who am I blaming?
Yeah, because you're not just gonna be like, oh,
I don't know.
It just happened.
I have no idea, bro. If someone in my family died there, like I'd be mad at the show, and like what happened and security. I'm sure I'd be like all fucking enraged and shit, but like. I don't think you can blame just one person. It's pretty narrow-minded to be like, oh, it's the artist's fault because people started stomping other people. Like once you're stepping on someone or something, like I would like to think if I'm in the situation, and I've noticed that I'm stomping someone out or that the crowd is doing. But
even then, you can't do anything about it because I mean, like you said, there's so much like power, force, or whatever being pushed.
Yeah, but you could try though. Like the only.
Well, you go down there and you get stomped too? I don't know.
No, but
I guess I've never been in that situation.
You'd like reach down or like you're trying to get help, right? So like if you could get that message known, plus like
because people were trying to do that.
Tell me what doesn't make the people who actually stomped them more at fault because they actually did the killing.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Is that like involuntary
I'm conflicted
slaughter?
On whose fault it is.
I don't think it's anybody's fault. I think it's an accident. Like yes, there's like. Legal repercussions, like you're getting sued, bro. Like you better throw out.
Like if one of my family members died there, I would never listen to a Travis Scott song again.
Yeah, probably not. But that's a whole different situation, right? You're like if you were directly affected, you're gonna feel way stronger about something. Like I am not directly affected by a local shooting or something, right? So I can look at it slightly more objectively, but if you're directly affected, there's no objective look. There's no objective motherfucking lens. Yeah, fuck that guy and fuck everything he represents, bro.
That's really hard though, because like that's taking like you're dehumanizing the fucking event. You know, it's weird.
I'm not dehumanizing it. I mean,
I'm not saying you are, but I mean when you put yourself in that situation where you're like, oh, since I wasn't affected directly, it doesn't. You know, I'm more objective about it, but like,
yeah, but that's what we all do, though, right? Every time we see something like that,
that's what I'm saying. That's a fucked up thing,
it is fucked up. We all feel sympathy towards that type of shit, but only when something truly affects you, like, or your family, or someone you know, or someone you're close with, do you get that like, the hate-filled view? You know, where like, fuck them, fuck their world, because it's true. I've had that situation a bunch of times where like, something personal happens in your family. You know, someone gets taken away or something like that, and like fuck that whole establishment and how all that happened. And that's all you feel. You don't give a shit if like, oh, this one security guard messed it up and that's where the people came from, or if they explain how it happens. It doesn't matter. Fuck the whole thing and fuck the dude in charge of it is how you feel. But because I'm not there like that for this specific situation, I can look at it and be like, well, you really can't blame him, but at the same time, he has to fucking at least like take responsibility.
Yeah, I don't know. I respect that opinion where you're saying like nobody's at fault. In my personal opinion, I feel like there's a lot of fault to go around. Like there's a lot of pieces to this that are to blame. But I think you're right in saying that it's hard to pinpoint one person. I think that's true.
So what would you do? What would you do to?
Well, I saw the lawsuit that's going in. Some guy's suing for damages or something.
Well, aside from the lawsuits, obviously that's all gonna happen. That's legit as fuck. But what do you think would in terms of like?
That's the only repercussion that's gonna happen.
The staff. Do you think the staff would get like in trouble, or do you think he's gonna give them the benefit of the doubt because of the amount of people that were there?
I feel like there's gonna be changes to like these sort of events, like more rules and shit. They're going to amp up security, obviously, because, I mean, they have to have some sort of move to make sure this doesn't happen again. Because I know even, like, the whole, like, getting stomped and shit because people are, like, fucking crowding. That's, like, that happens at a lot of concerts. Like even in the Selena movie, that shit was happening. You know?
Yeah. It happens a lot. People like the crowds can get like too big, and there's just no way to get in there. Like even if you try to get in there with like an ambulance, it's hard to disperse the people quick before someone gets fucking stomped.
Because I think it's even hard to like, let's say they have video proof of who's stomping who or whatever and who died. You know, you can't really go on that because it was like an uncontrollable force. You know.
That's what I'm saying. It's one of those things that it takes so many different situations, so many perfect things for it to happen. You know, like if a tornado dropped here in Idaho, somewhere where it's so unlikely, like you'd have to have the perfect weather, hit the perfect weather at the perfect elevation.
And you blame Larry Gebert.
Like all this shit, and then you blame your weatherman. It's like, like I get it.
I mean, I'd be mad at the weatherman if he didn't tell me. Yeah, it's like your fucking job.
It's like a perfect storm, and unfortunately for this motherfucker, it was a perfect storm. I do think he should have shown, like, maybe more.
Like 8 fucking people died, bro. Like
more attentiveness to the audience, because like that one scene, like for sure, where he's fucking singing and the dude's getting carried off, like passed out. Like maybe he did, or maybe like in his headset, like they were like, "Oh, we're carrying this guy out," so he knew, so he just kind of continued the show because it was just one person, maybe like heat stroke or something.
Yeah. I mean, these can be like angled in so many ways.
That could be true, but if he doesn't notice. I'm assuming what they're really, because a lot of different numbers are being thrown out, right? 8 people dead for sure is a real number, but they'll be like, oh, 25 injured, 100 injured, 70 injured, 35 injured, whatever the number really is, right? If that big of a thing is happening in the audience, I feel like you would see like the divot if you looked out into the crowd. Like you'd see that one spot where like shit's kind of not going right, or like at least you would assume at these kinds of concerts that like there's a security that's certain securities that are assigned to sections.
Well, I think there's even police officers there.
That are assigned to like sections of it, right, to keep it like under control. So like whoever was in that section and saw that should be able to inform the rest of the security / police officers, and then there should be like a very easy, or at least not easy, but a very tactical plan on how they were supposed to handle a situation like that. Like you gotta think to yourself, 50,000 people in a big ass crowd fucking jamming to trap music, like. Or like West Coast trap rap shit. Like someone's gonna fucking mosh pit hard, you know?
Yeah. Like, well, I mean, kind of just to summarize and move on. It's an unfortunate event. We don't know who's to blame. Legally, there's something's gonna happen, and rest in peace to those 8 people. Hopefully, it's not anymore.
Dude, the 14-year-old kid and 16-year-old kid one that I read, like they put up the ages, and I was like, that's the worst. Like they make it so much more real when they tell you the age of the people. Because, like, yeah, there's sympathy for dead people. But when, like, kids are killed, I feel like there's a little bit of remorse for, like, what could have been. It's like a whole life wasn't even lived.
And that's a hard situation, too, because I put myself in, like, their parents' shoes, you know? Like, I'd probably let my son go because that's something he wants to do.
You probably would have bought him the ticket, right? Like, yeah, I bought him the ticket.
Regret it, you know? So, yeah, I mean, rest in peace to all those people. My thoughts are with them.
Your wife wouldn't let him go, though. She'd be like, concert? Fuck you, Pablo.
Nah, she'd have make me go with him. So.
Yeah, that's true. You'd get to go. Yeah. You'd be like, oh, well, I guess, you know, I got to go watch the show with him.
Yeah, man, why are you doing that to me? Yeah. But anyways, moving on from that, you watched the Canelo fight last night, man?
Of course, bro. If you're Mexican and you didn't watch the Canelo fight, then are you really Mexican?
No, you're not. Yeah, you're not.
Everybody watched.
So,
you watch that shit illegally or legally.
Canelo Alvarez fought Caleb Plant to become the undisputed super middleweight champion. First Mexican to do it, only one of 6 people to ever do it.
He did it in 11 months.
Yeah.
He beat one guy in like December for 2 titles, because that guy had 2 titles. Then he beat Billy Joel Saunders for the next one. Then he beat Caleb Plant for the next one. And it all took less than a year.
Yeah. And I mean, I think we both had different opinions on the fight. Personally, I thought Plant was fighting really well. You were saying more that you thought he was getting his ass beat.
I thought he got his ass beat.
I thought he was giving Canelo a good fight. Canelo got him with that fucking, I think it was a jab, and he kind of like threw him off. And then he just went to town, bro. Like, it was crazy to watch him fight, like, go after him after that one little knockout. Because it was like a fucking
after the knockdown?
Wolf. Yeah. It was just like, bam, bam, bam. You know, this is my chance right here. It was crazy.
You got to take him, man. It's an injured fighter when you do that shit.
And the funniest part of the whole thing for me was, like, I guess it's so Mexican to me, bro, how like Canelo misunderstood motherfucker as like an insult to his actual mother.
To his mom.
Yeah, it's so funny to me because even in my own home, like my parents, that happens all the time where like they misunderstand things. And he's like, he even emphasized that like, oh, he apologized. He didn't mean any offense to my mother.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he whooped his ass. Like,
Yeah.
in boxing and straight, because there's like two different aspects, you know, like boxing, like technical skills and like who won a round. I think he whooped his ass. And then just in terms of fucking beating the shit out of somebody, I think he whooped his ass. Like Caleb Plant, he looked good for like the first like couple rounds, but then you could see him visibly slow down. And if you watch the fight, like back, you'll notice that Canelo hits him like 50 motherfucking times, like in the back side of it, like his back, like left side, his body. He catches him so many times that side started turning like really, really red. And like I think that's just a setup for him to put his hands down, and then he starts clocking him in the face, and it's over.
I'm gonna be honest. I think it was part of like the Caleb Plant like plan to go forward with Canelo was to kind of be a little bit timid because they know how quick he is and shit.
Yeah, dude had no chance.
Because he was even baiting Canelo. Canelo was baiting him. You know, he's like, "Come on, man, come on, fucking get in here," you know. And he kind of held off from like engaging in that. But overall, it was a great fight.
I would do that too, though.
It ended amazing, obviously, because we're fucking biased as hell.
You don't want to fight on a dude's terms. If he's fucking trying to goat you into something, it's never to give you the advantage.
Because I mean, if you watch the whole fight, though, like Canelo's doing the chasing, man. Plant is the one backing up the whole time, and that's always who I see.
I hate when I watch a fight in a group of a bunch of Mexican people who never watch a fight, because like your uncle who fucking watches one boxing match watches one match every 3 years, or your other uncle who's never watches one every 5 years, right? They'll be like, this guy's so scared. He's look at him just running in circles and not even trying to fight, right? It's like, for me personally, anybody at that level of boxing who's a champion, they're not scared. Like their strategy, I know it looks like running and it's bullshit when you watch it because it's really boring when they do that, but they're not scared because once you hit like that pinnacle of boxing, you know, you're not scared to get hit by a guy. You're just strategically trying to find your spot. And sometimes for some guys, it means moving away because the other guy, like if you get too close, that's his specialty and yours is like range, you know? And when someone fails to like see that, it kind of bugs me because I'm not saying you have to respect Caleb Plant because I don't know shit about him, you know? I know he has like a tough upbringing, became a boxer or whatever. But I don't know anything about him. I'm obviously a Canelo fan, but like, I hate when people say he's scared. Like, the dude's not scared, bro. The dude is a world-class champion boxer. His strategy, because he's not stupid, and he knows Canelo, if you get too close, has a motherfucking power shot, is you back up, hit him with jabs, and then hope to get a good counter on his ass. Like,
yeah, I mean, I
respect the dude, bro.
In my opinion, like every time I see a fight, there's always a chaser and there's always like a runner, you know?
Yeah, it's like a whole...
Yeah. I don't think it has anything to do with scared. You wouldn't get in the ring if you're scared,
exactly.
You know?
If you're scared, you're not fucking getting in there.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, you're right. It's all strategy. I think Caleb Plant's strategy was to let Canelo come to him and kind of see if there was an opening.
Yeah, he said he would bang with him, and he would do it at the beginning of the rounds. Like, the rounds would start, the first, like, 30 seconds, he would go in.
But
then he'd start backing out and, like, try to... Because Canelo's notoriously bad for trapping a guy in like a corner of a ring.
Yeah, and then kind of just go into town.
Yeah, like the guys always manage to like slip out, but that's because Canelo goes in there trying to break your fucking ribs every time.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. So Canelo Alvarez, undisputed super middleweight champion. That's fucking badass to me. Like, it's weird because that's my roots. You know, Mexico is my roots. That's where my parents are from. So like, you get like this. It's not weird, actually. It's just like a weird feeling to me because, like, even though I'm not Mexican by, like, where I was born, in my blood I'm Mexican. So I was, like, super, super, like, not emotional, but, like, I got goosebumps and shit, bro. I was like,
national pride?
Yeah, like some sort of pride.
It's not weird to me at all, bro. I rep all the time. I know I'm Mexican-American. I could give two shits. Like, I love America and I love Mexico, but I support different things. Like, if I'm watching a soccer game, fuck the U.S. team and fuck everything they're about, bro. I'm all about the Mexico team. If I'm watching a boxing match, dude, fuck whoever's fighting the Mexican dude. I'm all about him. But then it's also flipped, you know, like, hey, our laws are cool and we got freedoms, you know, down there's cartels and shit, you know. I'm also not trying to live there and shit.
Those are two big extremes.
It's conflicting shit, but like, you're raised watching, like, fucking when you're a little kid and like there's a boxing match going on and your family throws a party, like that is such a thing that happens in every little family. So eventually when you're an adult, you're like, oh, boxing match, Mexican guy. You don't even follow boxing. You just want to watch that one fight because you know this dude's about to rep.
Yeah. And I think it's a lot of like, you're right, our upbringing, because like I mentioned before, the whole motherfucker incident, like I see that in my own home, so it kind of helps me relate with him, you know, and shit. So, yeah, I mean, congratulations to Canelo Alvarez.
That's a shitty. Wait, that's a shitty division. That, like, I feel like you, motherfucker came in and was like, oh yeah, under a year, gonna win all the belts. Like, goddamn, bro. What is it? The super what? Super middleweights?
Yeah, super
that's
middleweight,
168, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think he's gonna do? Is he gonna move up or move? He already won all the titles below that, right?
That's what I was wondering.
For his size?
What's his next move? You know, I don't fucking know, man.
A lot of people that I saw when I was looking through Twitter, they're like, Mexican fighters ducking black fighters, right?
Yeah, I have heard that.
And I don't know if that's true or not, but like, if they don't have a belt in his division,
why would he even go for that?
Why would you go? Yeah.
Yeah, because Ryan Garcia, they talked about him ducking this guy named Tank. So that's one of them.
Does Tank have a belt?
I don't think he does, man, but he's like undefeated or something. But I don't think does
Ryan Garcia doesn't have a belt.
Yeah. So I mean, they just want him to fight because they're both really good, you know?
Yeah.
So that's one of the situations where they're saying he's ducking. And then Canelo Alvarez, there's this guy named Charlo something.
Yeah, the other Mexican dude?
No, he's black too. But he's a really great fighter.
Oh, who's the Mexican dude then? Okay, Charlo something for sure.
Yeah. So they're saying that he's ducking, Canelo's ducking that guy because he's really good or whatever. And I think both of those guys, Tank and that Charlo guy, are under Mayweather Promotions or whatever.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if they have a belt, makes sense to me. Fight them, you know? But if they don't have a belt, like if you're already like, I'm not sure about Ryan Garcia's. I don't really follow him. I don't really like him. But like Canelo's got fucking 7 belts on his ass right now.
Yeah.
And makes like 60, 50 million, 100 million a fight. I don't know what the fuck he makes, but it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
So for him, it's not even worth it. I don't care if like if you came up, you're like 22-0 and you're like the best motherfucker ever. It's not worth it unless you have a belt or unless you become the number 1 contender in your like division, right? Because he's got, depending on what Canelo decides, like you either give up the belts and like move up to another division, or you defend each of them in their like respective thing, right? Because after a while, don't they go away? Like if he keeps it for too long without defending it, then like it's
they get taken away and get to like the next guy.
Yeah, they get stripped and there's like a fight for it.
Which to me, it's crazy, all these fucking titles, because I guess he had 3 and he needed this last one, which was the IFC or whatever.
IBF.
IBF, is it? Yeah.
IBF.
Whatever it is. I mean, I don't understand why there's so many fucking divisions.
I think it's because of all the promotions. There's just like 4 like different boxing things that became like known.
Yeah. It's all gets really
I think it's cool that way though. I think it's like each one has their own champ, and for you to become the champ, you have to beat all the champs. What I don't like is like if one motherfucker runs the gauntlet, right? Let's say some boxer like Canelo did, right? Beats one guy, gets the title. Beats another guy, gets the title. Beats the third guy, gets the title. And then he's about to unify. And the guy who beats him in the unification fight, the other champion, wins. He gets all 3 of the other titles, and then he's the unified champ. And he only had to go through 1 guy, where Canelo had to go through 4 guys.
That is true, yeah.
I feel
if
like
somebody beat Canelo right now, right? They'd get all.
And they'd be the unified,
Yeah,
the
that's
second
so
ever
nice.
unified champ. Which is why I'm saying like when they do that, I think it makes more sense for like if you're gonna fight a champion, you put up your belt, and they put up a belt. You don't put up all your belts and they put up a belt, because then it almost feels like, yeah, the dude you fought was good, and yeah, maybe he beat you that night. But now he's the unified champion with all 6 belts or whatever the fuck it is, all 4 belts, because you lost once and you had to beat 3 dudes to even get the chance at it.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
That's a weird like boxing thing that I never understood, because like if I beat fucking LeBron James in a game of pickup basketball, I'm not the 7-time NBA champion. I didn't just beat him for all his titles.
Honestly, if I was Canelo today, after tomorrow, I'd be retired.
Retired? I don't think he's retiring. He's too.
No, I know he's not gonna retire. I'm just saying, from my perspective, if I was him, I would retire, because I always believe this thing where like you gotta leave when you're on top.
Only one boxer I think's ever really done that, and that's like Mayweather.
Yeah.
All the other ones always want to fight.
Somebody was posting about Canelo being like super great or whatever, and then there was this other guy in the comments talking about Mayweather. I'm like, what the fuck? Mayweather's like retired. Like,
yeah, they always bring that up because he beat him, you know.
Yeah. But he fought Canelo like
hella young.
Yeah.
But I think he should move up. He was probably gonna, like, my guess is he's gonna fight whoever the next dude is. That maybe that Charlo dude, he'll give him a shot. Or they were talking about some other Mexican guy who like comes in and fucking like comes for your, like comes in hard and like tries to wreck your shit. That's like really good and established now too.
Yeah.
So he'll probably fight one of those guys, and if it's not one of them, then he'll probably move up a weight class and try to take someone else's belt. Because like once you're like a champion like that and you move up a weight class, they don't even make you wait. They're not like, oh, fight the number one contender. They're like, no, you get a title shot. Go for it. Fight the dude with the belt.
Yeah.
But I do hate that rule. Like I do hate the like, it's like, it's so stupid. Like if I went through business and I was like, oh, I'm the CEO here. I'm a CEO here. I started all these businesses, and then I lose one business, or like someone buys a business from me. Now they own all my shit. It's like so weird that they can just.
How do you rectify that though? Like they have to fight him 4 times for 1 time for each belt or something, or?
I personally think the only way to like fix it is like once you unify. Like if someone unifies, they either have to defend each belt, like in their respective whatever division it is, the IB or league or ICF or what the fuck it is. Like, I don't know. He'd probably have to do it like every 1.5 years, like 4 fights, every like 3 or 4 months.
The only way I would see it working is if like they had another belt that was like undisputed whatever champion, and then they like disperse the other 4 back to like the number 1 rank in that class.
Well, they're going to go back, right? How long? What's the fucking statute of limitations? When are they like, all right, you've held the belt too long and you haven't defended it? Because in the UFC, it's short as fuck.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
In the UFC, if a motherfucker doesn't defend his belt in like a year, they're like, all right, give me your fucking belt. It's our belt now. And then they start doing interim champs and shit.
Yeah, I have no fucking idea, man.
That's how they push forward everything, though. Like, they can do an interim championship in the leagues and then just be like, all right, you're the interim champ until you beat the real champ. Because Canelo's too busy. Plus, a fighter can only fight maybe 3 fights a year for, like, how long's your prime in boxing? Fucking 10 years, maybe? Like, if you're lucky, you're like, and you stay, like, at the top level that long.
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
So like there's only so many defenses he can do and so much more accomplishments he can get. But right now, easily pound for pound the best fucking boxer.
Yeah, I think it depends on the belt. Because just the WBA is within 9 months of winning it. They have to defend it.
Yeah, see what I'm saying?
So yeah, I don't fucking know, man.
So he can either just go on for the rest of his career defending each one of these each time. But he beat out the best guys. So like he wouldn't be fighting guys on his level anymore. And then... Or he could move up and try to do something crazy and like win
just
more.
Give up his belts, yeah.
Win another division because he won the one underneath this one and he won this one and now he's.
Yeah, it was crazy seeing him hold all the belts and shit.
Yeah, he couldn't even hold them all. Fucking had like 5 and his trainer was next to him with like 2 and then.
More, dude.
They had some like black one in the background. I have no idea what it was and they were fucking holding that shit up too.
Like fucking king of the town.
Yeah, his crown. You think that crown was gold?
No,
like,
fuck no. It was plastic.
I think it was real.
No, it was plastic. You can tell.
You think so? I feel like.
They went through the Burger King drive-through before.
Nah, dude. I feel like if you're making Canelo money, like he probably
get a real.
He was like not maybe not like pure gold the whole thing, but he was probably like, hey, go get me like a 14-karat crown, And
nah, bro. I 100% think it was plastic. Just the way he was like moving it, you could tell. But it was a fucking fight-filled night last night, bro. Because I had like UFC on one screen and fucking boxing on the other screen. So what'd you think of the UFC fights?
Well, before the UFC fights, did you see the knockout in the fight right before Canelo's fight?
No, I don't think so.
Because that knockout was probably like my favorite out of all the fights that night, right? Like Canelo's obviously was more emotional for me, but like that knockout, the dude like literally ducks, like he like slips a punch. And then it just looks like a kind of punch that I would throw in my life. He like winds up this punch like backwards like a cartoon character almost. And then brings it in and uppercuts the guy in the face and it's over.
Jesus.
Just fucking knocked out. But the UFC fights, I didn't watch any except the last one. I watched the Kamaru Usman Cody Covington fight. I didn't watch any other ones. I did watch the highlights because I knew that the UFC stacked their card because one, they always stack their card towards the end of the year because they want to like leave an impression of a dope ass thing. Plus, you're trying to compete for pay-per-view buys against a Canelo fight. You got to get the audience somehow. So they made all the fights on that card like fucking ridiculous
championship fights.
Yeah, like good ass fucking matches. So like the Covington Usman shit was dope. I watched that shit. I hate Covington, but like the fight was good. They were both throwing blows. They both had each other like in danger in certain parts of the fight. Same with Chandler and the other dude, his name is slipping my mind.
It's like
right
Guthrie or something. Guthrie.
Oh, Gaethje.
Gaethje.
And what the fuck? Now I forgot the first name.
No. What the fuck?
Not
You're
Guthrie.
confusing me too, man.
Fucking Gaethje and Chandler. The Gaethje and Chandler fight, which was only 3 rounds, was fucking crazy too. Motherfuckers were like eating hits and just walking into each other, like, oh, seeing who's
Wait,
like.
so you did watch that one too?
No, I watched the highlights to that one.
Oh, okay.
Because I keep up with the UFC pretty regularly, so I watch a lot of the highlights of the fights that I miss. So I watched the highlights to like the event, but I only actually saw the last fight because it happened after the Canelo fight. Like I finished the Canelo fight, celebrated, fucking ate some cake because I was at Lupa's house and her daughter was having her birthday, like a little birthday thing just for her. They bought her a cake. So I had some tres leches cake after the fight, ate some rice, came home like hella Mexican happy, you know. Ooh, fucking pride, yeah. Had my Mexico jersey on, everything. I was repping. And then I sat down and I was like, oh yeah, the UFC fights. And then I turned that shit on my phone and I started watching the main event, which was dope as fuck, dude. It was a good fight too.
Yeah, they're going back and forth, man. This man's a fucking animal, to be honest.
The other dude's an animal too. Like that whole fight, you're like.
But you could clearly tell he was getting his ass beat.
yeah, he won. He won the fight unanimous decision, but
Covington, I mean, he just took some. There were
some certain rounds where he did hurt him, and he was also eating those fucking shots. It's hard to eat a punch from a fucking world class UFC fighter, and that motherfucker's just like walking into him, eating him. He's like, I'm gonna win the belt. Bah, 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 bah. His face was all mushed up.
Yeah, and this is like a rivalry where you like feel the hate, man. Like most of them you feel it, you know, but in this one, like they congratulated each other and then continued to talk shit after, like in the fucking after interviews.
The post show.
Like, yeah, because Covington was calling Usman like a fucking cheater and shit. But
I'm all for it, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck that respect shit. Like.
No, I fuck with respect, bro. Especially
but it's so much
if you
more
just
boring,
got your ass beat, because if you got your ass beat and you're still talking shit, like you're just a bitch. Like you just take your ass whooping like a man.
He did lose, but when a fighter loses, I feel like if they don't get knocked out in any boxing or UFC, if you don't get knocked out, then you feel like, hey, give me 3 more rounds and let's see what happens. You know, like because you can always say like, hey, I never went down. Like, come on, bitch, I'm still here. Start the next round until someone gets knocked out.
Yeah,
like that's your mindset. So whenever it doesn't happen in boxing that much, I feel like in boxing the fights are always like, hi, I respect you. Hi, I respect the craft. And then when they instill a little bit of hostility, like you feel it more, right? Like this last fight, the Canelo fight, there was not as much respect going into it because of the whole motherfucker thing and the slapping each other in the press conference. So like the tension was way higher when you saw the actual fight. You're like, oh, he's coming to really murder this motherfucker for talking shit, you know? And that makes it way more exciting, and then you can be respectful after and then still hate them. You know, you respect them for their effort and then be like, but he's still a bitch. That's how the UFC almost always does it. You know, like not all of them, but a lot of theirs is like real hate. And you're like, yeah, fuck that guy. And then they shake hands after the fight and then they go to the post conference and they're like, yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Because like in the Deontay Wilder fight with Tyson Fury, I was a Wilder fan. But then after the way he was acting and shit, I was like, fuck.
Yeah,
Wilder.
I'm a Fury fan.
I was like, Fury kind of like, you know, he won like a champ. I think if he loses like a champ too. I mean, he's not fucking making excuses and shit. I just don't really.
Yeah, Deontay Wilder's were like bad excuses, man.
Yeah. Because I mean, Tyson Fury was like trying to, you know, say good job or whatever. Yeah. He's like, fuck you, man.
I don't know what they did to that dude. I don't know if they like gave him a bag of glue to sniff or some shit. But he came out there making the weirdest fucking excuses when he lost that fight.
Yeah, it was fucking weird, man.
But like Cody Covington and like Caleb Plant, like didn't really make excuses for their loss, right? They were more like talking shit, like fuck that, give me more rounds. Let's do it right now. You know, I'm not done. Caleb Plant was like knocked out almost, and he told Canelo, "Let's go another round." it's like, bro, and then he was like, "Bro, I won already."
You can do that.
Yeah, you can. We can't just start it up.
He's
I just
like,
beat you.
Yeah. Let me go talk to this guy over here.
Yeah, like Canelo, you can see Canelo like, I don't even think this guy really knows what he's saying right now.
Yeah.
And then walked away because obviously he fucking just took like 15 shots to the face. Like at the end, I think he took like 3 as he was falling.
Yeah, well, I think Caleb Plant's record before this was like 9-0.
No, he's 22-0.
Was he 22? No.
22-0 with 12
They
knockouts.
mentioned that, but 22 full fights. I think 9 professional was the record.
Oh, like
if
amateurs?
I remember, yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure, but he had 12 knockouts only.
I don't know. respect to him. 9 professional fights.
I like the UFC talking shit. You see, Dana White was watching the Canelo fight ringside. Like, they had the monitors up, and he was watching Canelo fight as his event was going on. And a lot of people were giving him shit. They're like, oh, even he doesn't want to watch his own pay-per-view. But it's like, no, he's been a boxing promoter. Like, you know, he's a fighting fan. Like, you're going to watch both the same way, like at my house or at your house. You fucking have them both on. One on your phone, one on the computer screen, you know?
Yeah. Well, they brought it up during the post-interview or whatever because they were like, oh, what do you think about Usman wanting to fight Canelo? He's like, nah, he should just stay in his lane.
Yeah.
I saw that fight earlier. Yeah, he should just stick to UFC. He's like, but if Canelo wants to come fight UFC, I'm down for it.
Yeah. He's like, come on over.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because he's not shy. He's not going to shy away from like saying he watched the fight because he watched the fight, you know?
Yeah.
He's a fight fan. I feel like all the people who are like legit, the hardcores, and maybe not me and you because we're like kind of casuals, but like the hardcores, like your Joe Rogans, your Dana Whites, your
like
fucking,
you know, fucking stats.
Maybe Oscar de la Hoya, whoever the fuck, the boxer dudes, fighter dudes, they watch the UFC, they watch boxing, and they'll pull them both up at the same time because they have a whole different kind of respect because they're fighters and they're like in the actual mix of what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. I'd fucking watch if I was like at the Canelo fight, like during the like upcoming of it, I'd probably be watching like the UFC thing. And then the Canelo fight would happen and I'd watch that and then I'd go right back to watching the UFC thing.
Hell yeah, man. Well, that was a fight-filled night. It was amazing. I'm glad Covington lost. I'm happy that Canelo won. But yeah, man.
You got all the dubs you wanted that day?
That was what was going on.
Well, did you see this? I thought has nothing to do with fighting, but I just thought it was fucking hilarious. Sesame Street has like Twitter profiles for like their characters.
Uh-huh.
And the Big Bird character tweeted out like, "Just got my vaccine," like basically like positivity towards the vaccine.
What the fuck?
Like I'm vaccinated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know if that's like a push to like make kids like tell their parents like, "Hey, Big Bird just said I should get the vaccine," but what do you think, Mom?
Did he get backlash or what?
I don't know if he got backlash. I didn't really read into it more than like seeing the tweet, you know. But I just think it's cool / kind of funny, kind of stupid because like I can see your very conservative parent who doesn't want it, like being like, "Fuck Sesame Street now," and then I can see your very liberal parent being like, "Yeah, fucking Big Bird's one of us." And I think it's just like even funny that the motherfucker has a Twitter account.
That is funny as fuck, bro. And he's responding to his Mexican cousin, Everardo Montoya.
Who the fuck is that?
I don't fucking know, dude. He's like a red and fucking green Big Bird in Mexico, I guess.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of him. But
yeah, me either. He's like, "Thank you, cousin."
They tweeted
for a happy birthday.
They tweet each other and shit.
Yeah, that's fucking funny. So, like, the actual tweet that Big Bird put out says, "I got the COVID-19 vaccine today. My wing is feeling a little sore, but I'll give my body extra protective boost that keeps me and others healthy."
Yeah. I think they're just.
No, you know exactly what this is.
Yeah, I know what it is. But aren't they like on PBS? Isn't that like owned by like which one's the one that's owned by like?
I think it is PBS, public, whatever radio station.
It's pretty funny, man. My job, you know, they fucking just they sent us like this link and they were like, OSHA regulations now for work because everybody basically in Idaho, right? They were like, "Oh, you don't have to wear a mask anymore."
Yeah.
And then they sent us a thing. They're like, OSHA regulations, blah 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 blah. You have to be vaccinated by December 5th and have proof, and we can check you for the proof. Or every week you have to submit a test that shows you're negative, so that you can work. Mm-hmm. And they sent this out like in an email. They put it on the Slack profile thing for the job and all that, right? And I was looking at it, and I was all like, "You just told these people," because I'm vaccinated, right? But I was like, "You just told everybody they could take their masks off, like a month ago. So people aren't wearing them and shit. And now, because you're gonna go by the OSHA regulation, I don't know if they have to legally do it or if like it's their choice. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But they for sure made it a big deal, right? So now all the people who don't want to do it, because getting a test every week seems kind of like monotonous, right? Like let's say you're against the vaccine or whatever. And they're like, "Okay, submit your test every day." You're not going to want to do no fucking homework. Go ahead and test every week to prove it. And then like,
yeah, man, but
depending
you gotta
on,
make a stand.
Depending on what day, right? I'm just saying though, like in the climate, right? They're doing that, and right now we're low on employees. It's hard as fuck to like get people to do shit. They're gonna lose some kids, like some fucking 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid who's like, fuck the vaccine.
He's gonna go home to his radical dad and be like, hey, I gotta get the vaccine.
Because it's a fucking fast food place. So a lot of the kids are like not 18. So they're not gonna be like, let me just adhere to this. And then they're not gonna be like, let me just go get tested every week if I don't want to. They're gonna be like, fuck this place. I'm 17. I'm gonna go home and fucking play Call of Duty. It just came out. They're gonna be like, Vanguard's out, bro. Peace.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
I think it was crazy that they took a stand on that. I think it might.
I think it's even crazier that they took that stand.
They were saying it's a law. That like a lot of the things had like the new laws and stuff, and I was like, I don't know if it's like a law.
I think it is because I heard that the president's being sued right now by like a bunch of people in Idaho, like the governor and shit, because of that.
Yeah. So I don't know if by the time December 5th or whatever day it was rolls up, it'll be legit. Like maybe they'll change it. But just seeing it like in my head, I was like, fuck. I want to be covering so many fucking shifts. Everybody's going to quit.
It's time to move on, man.
Oh, man. It's going to be fucking annoying, dude.
They fucking milk you like a dairy cow, bro.
Milk you like a dairy cow? I still don't work as much hours as my roommate. Motherfucker works like 50 hours. He has no life.
Fucking guy has some boyfriends to take care of and shit.
Some boyfriends?
Girlfriends or whatever. I don't know. I don't judge.
Whoever he likes, he likes?
Yeah, whoever he likes, he likes. He's got to take care of him.
That's true.
But yeah, man. So that's what's been going on in the world. What do you have for the hypothetical today, man?
For the hypothetical. So this hypothetical, it just came to me in a dream. No, I'm just kidding. I was looking at some shit and then I was like, oh, that makes sense. And then I just thought of it. All right. Would you rather have an annoyingly high voice or a super quiet whisper for the rest of your life?
Probably an annoyingly loud voice.
No, annoyingly high voice.
High.
Like you know, like the like fucking Michael Jackson voice, but higher and higher and higher. So like squeaky.
Yeah, I don't fucking know, man.
So you're either like a super squeaky high voice guy, or you're like super quiet whisper where like people cannot hear you.
I'd rather be quiet then. Because the whole high voice thing, it's kind of annoying. At least if I'm like, you know, what am I talking about? Yeah. Like the fucking girl off of fucking
some ASMR.
No, she's the Asian girl off of that acapella fucking movie, bro.
Oh, Pitch Perfect.
Yeah. Where she's just like whispering shit. She's like, you want to see a dead body?
Yeah.
You know, and shit. Like people can't hear, they don't really know. But if I'm like got a high pitched voice, you know, it's fucking annoying.
Yeah. When I thought about it too, I was like, fuck that high pitched voice. I've met people and their voice, because this might be a dick thing to say, but like certain people's voices sometimes like bug me so much that I just don't even want to talk to them. Like it's just like, fuck, bro, I don't like the way you sound.
Yeah, you're fucking cold when shit annoys you, bro.
Well, I met this kid at my work, dude. His voice is like, you know, it's just like, oh, and I was just like, oh my god, bro, like, don't talk to me.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You're hating people for being who they are, you know.
I'm not hating them for being who they are. I just
because they can't control that.
I know they can't control it, but
I still fucking hate it.
It bugs my ears, bro.
Yeah, man,
so I couldn't stand it. So I would rather have the super quiet whisper too, because like, even if I'm super whispery and you can't hear me all the time, you know, like if you're close enough, I'll get right in your ear and whisper it, or I'll write it down for you. But I do not want to have the high, squeaky, annoying ass voice that's gonna get me punched out by people randomly in the streets.
That's funny as hell, bro. Yeah, because I mean, there's like this bicyclist I watch on TikTok, and he has like a really weird voice. And I'm always like, man, I like this content, but that voice kind of throwing me off, you know?
It's kind of
like an asshole.
You know how like little petite like Mexican girls all have that same voice tone?
No.
Okay, you watch a lot of TikTok. You know who Autumn Rose is on TikTok?
Yeah.
You know her voice?
Yeah.
That voice.
Okay.
Because like little Mexican girls who are like fucking 5'2" and like skinny all sound like that. Like, I don't mind that voice. I'm just saying that, like...
I think, like, all girls, not just Mexican.
No, not all girls. Well,
yeah.
I've only ever seen it in Mexican girls. Maybe that's just where I hang out with.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because little short white girls got, like, deep-ass voices. They'd be like, hey, how you doing?
I have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
Well, whatever, bro. You know what voice I'm talking about,
I know
what
voice you're talking about.
That voice register right there, like, it comes with, like, their size, right? Almost. It feels like, because like it's always like the
You got
petite,
smaller vocal cords.
like you're petite and you have that sound. So if I had that squeaky voice, dude, I would kill myself. Not literally, but like, fuck, it would suck. You'd have such a shitty life.
Yeah.
How do you have a business meeting with an annoyingly high voice?
I think that just comes with like common fucking courtesy for people, you know?
How's
like,
anybody gonna take me seriously? How am I gonna like how do I defend my daughter's honor if she's about to go on a date with someone and I roll up to this guy and I have the squeakiest, loudest voice in the world and he's just gonna
make up for it with your truck.
he's just gonna oh man, he's just gonna look at me like, oh man, your dad's a bitch. He's gonna tell her later in the car like, damn, why's your dad sound like a little bitch?
Imagine that shit, bro. Like, you roll up and you look buff as fuck, and then you roll out with the hi.
You've seen Grown Ups, right?
Yeah.
Remember the lifeguard in the swimming section when he's gonna hit on the girls and he's like, oh,
yeah.
like that, bro. Imagine that voice, bro.
I don't know. You laugh, I'm still gonna beat your ass because I'm buff as fuck.
Yeah, but the voice,
like,
dude.
Bitch.
And this also might sound like a dick thing to say, right? But there's also people that have certain faces or like looks that I fucking hate. Like, I've met certain people in my life that like I immediately knew that I wasn't gonna like them, and I don't know if it was the same for them for me, but like just the way they would make their looks, like even if it was unintentional, like their fucking face. Like, people are used to saying resting bitch face, right? But it's not really resting bitch face. It's more like that person's specific way to make their face just used to piss me off.
Yeah, bro, you need some help.
No, man, this is real. This is real shit, bro.
No, because
I'm just willing to say it.
There's nothing that anybody does that would make me vocalize something I don't like.
Well, I'm not saying it to them. I'm saying it to you, bro. You're my cousin, bro.
No.
In my mind, I
feel
said
like
it.
You're the type of guy that would tell them, you know? Because if that guy keeps coming back and he's asking you questions and shit, you're going to be like, just leave me alone, man. I don't want to hear your voice.
I'm not going to say that, but I would probably like
distance yourself.
Not distance, but I'd talk like some shit, you know? I'd be like, yo, bro, why the fuck do you sound like a squeaky duck toy? Like, why the fucking, like, I hear you like a chew ball.
That's what I'm saying, going bro. On? Like, that's like something they can't control. That's crazy. I don't know. I'm just going to say it. My own voice would annoy me if I had that voice.
I think you're lying. Not you specifically, but like the people. If you've never met someone whose voice and or specific way they look at you with their face hasn't just made you immediately dislike them, even if you don't know them. I've seen people and I've been like, I know I don't fucking like you.
Yeah. No. That for sure has happened, and I'm sure everybody's had that happen.
Maybe I will be the only one to say it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But it's a real thing, bro.
I just keep it to myself, you know. I'm like, yeah, we're not gonna go see that person again, you know.
Like, there's this kid that we used to play soccer against, right? He was like a little flashy ass kid who would come out and play, and I don't know his real name, but they used to call him Motley Crue. Or we called him Motley Crue. I think Diego made that shit up. I don't know how it came about, but they called him Motley Crue. He had like pointy ass hair, and he was like a super flashy soccer player, cocky as fuck, right? And the minute I met that kid, I knew I fucking didn't like him. I was like, I know I don't like you. Like, you're a cocky piece of shit guy who, like, if I ever had a real conversation with, it would piss me off.
Yeah.
And then the one time that me and him ever had a real exchange, like outside of playing a game of soccer, we almost got in a fight.
That's crazy.
Because like, he was playing a game of soccer and I was watching on the big field, and I'm sitting there with my friend Diego and then another kid named Diego too, and they're asking me like how I felt about this game, and I was like, I mean, this guy's all right. I don't really think he's that good. And then one of the guys overheard me, and then they got off the field, and then the guy's like, hey, that guy over there said you weren't that good. And then that kid comes up to me and he's like, well, you don't think I'm that good, bro? And I was all like, I don't know why my opinion of you matters to you so much, but no, I don't think you're that good. And then he's like, let's go outside then, bro. He's like, let's go outside. And he was like with his like uncle, who looked like he was like 30 at the time. I was probably like 22 or 23. And he was like, yeah, let's go outside, bro. And then, like, they were both like puffing their chest, like, let's go outside. Yeah. And I was like, well, bitch, I'm not fucking scared of you, bro. I'll go outside. And then Diego, my friend, right, I was like, Diego, come outside with me just in case this dude tries to jump me, right? Because, like, I'll beat this dude, but you gotta, if that other dude comes in, right, you gotta handle this other guy. And Diego was like, nope. He straight said no. He was like, nope, not doing it, not going out there.
Damn.
And then I looked at the other Diego kid, and I was like, what about you, bro? And he was like, no. So then I was like, well, fuck, I'm not going to go out there and get beat up by two guys. I'm also not stupid.
That's crazy.
Right? So I just never went out there.
Damn.
But in my head, I was like, oh, man, if a fucking Mike or Nate were here, bro, it's fucking on, bro.
Mike or
Yeah, I was like, if one of my bros is here, bro, like, you guys are getting fucking knocked out.
Damn. All right, man. Well, we would both rather have whispery voices, right?
Yeah. Whispery voices for sure.
Right on, man. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. If you've been to our merch shop before today, there's nothing on there. But now we got hoodies and beanies in there if you want to check them out. We still have supporter option available. If you want to support, you can support for as little as $1 a month, all the way up to, I think, $10 or $20.
Yeah, the link's in the show notes.
Yeah. So that it's cool if you do that. If not, we appreciate you listening. We're on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram.
Oh, good news, bro. One of our TikToks finally blew up.
Twitter.
We hit like 30K likes on one. Not likes, but 30K views on one, which is fucking dope because we've been trying to get it past 1,000, like 500 for like a month and a half.
And one of the ones you just recently posted is up to like 6K. So if you're not checking us out on TikTok, feel free to check us out.
Yeah, it's like a condensed version of the show. We put like
mostly our one gotta go.
One gotta go hypotheticals, but it's not like our broad explanation. It's like, oh, there it is.
Yep. So feel free to check us out there. Anything else you want to say, bro?
Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora. We're fucking anywhere you can listen to a podcast. Fucking tell your friends, and I'm sure we'll do some cool shit for like Christmas and shit. You know, who knows? We'll probably try to do a little bit more video content now because we've actually figured out how to do it. So it should pop up on your Spotify player for the next episode, and check out our YouTube because our YouTube is going to start popping off right now too.
Yeah, hopefully we can blow up within the next month so we can get Kris Kringle on the show. So
who the fuck is Kris Kringle? Santa Claus?
Yeah.
Like the real one?
Yeah. That's a joke. Thank you.
Like I'd rather have Jim Carrey, like the Grinch.
No, I'd rather have fucking Will Ferrell, the elf.
All right.
Yeah. But all right, that's going to do it for the show. Remember to check us out on the Surface Wave podcast as well. Shout out to them. Peace.